what? The atmosphere was a post-war atmosphere, huh? With a world divided into two great blocks. It was the beginning of the Cold War. 1950 was the beginning of the Cold War. When I was in the States in 1951, there was the Korean War. The obsession was, are we through with this Second World War? Are we through the wars, or are we again to prepare for a new one? And of course, the whole Europe has to be rebuilt. Japan had to be rebuilt. Everything had to be rebuilt, and we had to start again from scratch. And the ideas were not as open and as flexible as today. In France, we didn't have social security for students. The fact of having students from foreign lands was something extraordinary. So this was the atmosphere, and everybody was working 70 hours a week. The atmosphere was something must be done if we want to avoid new terrible wars in Europe. It was mainly European. If we want, there was no question of AIESEC in Asia, no question of AIESEC in the United States, and so on. It was absolutely European. Going by train to Stockholm through Berlin. Berlin was just like a heap of ruins. A heap of ruins. So the idea was never this again, and how can we help? Probably by forgetting the old hates and having the new students, the new generation, try to understand each other. This is why it was held in Sweden, because Sweden had been neutral during the war. And Sweden was more mature in terms of student unions. The students' unions were already established in Sweden. They were just beginning in France and Belgium. And the idea of the International Union of Students in Prague was quickly discovered as, in fact, a KGB tool. So we wanted definitely to have the students in power, definitely to be international, and definitely to be independent from all politics.
In these days, my thoughts go back to the time when I had the chance to meet students around Bengt Sjöstrand from Sweden and Georges Joplin from France, the two first presidents of AIESEC. Having returned as prisoner of war from France by the end of 1948, I was immediately convinced that the principles and goals of AIESEC gave students of economics and business administration the possibility to contribute towards overcoming the enmity between France and Germany, which had caused millions of victims in 3 wars during more than 70 years. I will never forget that the German students participating in the first international meetings in these early post-war years were fully accepted and respected without any prejudice by their friends from all European countries.
Through all those efforts and goodwill along the years, a good proportion of our dream has come true. I can testify the world today is better than it was. We have to think and recognize it positively. But we know the job is not finished, and it is our enthusiasm to reach a new step, and it is your pride, it is to relate to the next for a change for the better. a matter of fact, you are heirs of this journey for success, which has mobilized several generations, serving AIESEC and ensuring its growth as an original vision for international understanding, a dedication to peace as a recognized value for the world.